What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, OTB Nation? Welcome into episode number 342 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, and of course viewable on YouTube, Outside the Box podcast, the official lacrosse pod on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. It's KB and Deej coming at you with a very, very weird episode of sorts that we have on deck for you. There's not much going on outside of the World Box Lacrosse Championships that we're going to touch on to kick off the show. And we also have a pitch to one of our favorite future guests that you guys, who knows, you know, you never know unless you try. Shoot your shot, shoot or shoot, as DJ says. DJ, what's the phrase?
Shoot or shoot, bro. Or you want the other one?
Yeah.
Ball up top. Ball up top. It's there.
We have a little idea in the works. DJ and I were texting last night, and I was like, yeah, this could. And the more I was thinking about it, there's other people at our company who are fans of what we're talking about, so we could rope them in too, and it'd be a full-on council, if you will. We also have a very fun off the top of the dome project that we're going to do over the next couple of weeks, where it's kind of this lull in between the PLL season ending and the NLL season getting underway.
I finally had a good idea, y'all.
It is a great idea, and it was just us spitballing, and it was like, oh, this works. And so it'll be something we do in between. We're still working on getting guests scheduled and everything. And yes, I saw the people talking. Yes, we are working on getting Brennan O'Neill on the show. It is just through the Philadelphia Wings, so it's not like us just reaching out to Brennan and having him on. So it's a couple things that we have to go through and get his schedule cleared with the Wings, and it's all through them, which we are beyond thankful for. But we're just working on the timing for both Brennan, ourselves, and then obviously coordinated through the Philadelphia Wings. But we do have verbal agreements and written agreements from multiple guests in the near future. So you'll have guests over the next few weeks. We'll have NLL previews coming up probably next month, starting like late October. And then we'll have this fun topic discussion that we're going to get into later on in the show. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials across the board at OTB LaxPod. Follow DJ at SCS_NextGreat on Twitter so you can see all of his down bad tweets. And it's very ironic and very just like perfect timing that you're always down bad on days we have to record. I don't know what it is. What does a recording day do to you?
It's not the recording day, bro. It'd be other people, bro. Like I'm working on not letting people bother me, but like sometimes people just do stuff, and it just.
I saw that and I was like, bro. I was like Ed Mode. I wanted to slap you with the news. Pull yourself together.
And I'm getting there, bro. But like sometimes you just gotta be down bad. Like you just look up and like you be like, I'm down kind of bad right now. Like this is kind of like not just like this very moment. This is not just today. Like it's an encapsulating. Like
I was just kind of get you scheduled up for like a Tuesday and then just watch a bunch of sketch videos of him saying Tuesday.
No,
cheer you up real quick.
It's like the last 6 months. Like I kind of just look back and been like, man, like I've been down kind of bad. But like that just means I got something crazy lined up.
Down bad, yet we just had one of the most successful summers of our lives. Get a fucking grip.
Bruh, I'm trying.
He's like, you do got a point.
I know. I'm adjusting to this whole turning 25 thing, okay?
Oh, he's always got something up his sleeve. But follow Teach. Send him like pictures of your dogs or something so he cannot be down bad. I don't care if it's a picture of Scooby-Doo at this point.
Please send me pictures of your dogs and cats.
Send him pictures of Moo Dang. You can tweet us all the pictures of Moo Dang you want. Moo Dang is my queen.
We love Moodang. OTB is a Moodang podcast.
My algorithm is Phillies baseball, Eagles football, sports in general, and then Moodang, and a splash of the Costco guys.
Yeah, I don't really see too much of the Costco guys. But shout out to the Tigers. One more.
This guy.
One more Dubsky, and we in the playoffs. Let's go. We're right there. Hey. And do you know who we have for our final series of the year?
No, I think
arguably the worst team to ever play baseball.
Oh, you play the White Sox?
Yes.
Nice.
And I love that we have the opportunity to give them the actual historical loss. 121 makes them the worst team in MLB history, and we're going to be the ones to give it to them.
This is 5 articles for my job right here.
Right here. You already know. Run it up.
So follow Deej, tweet us pictures of Moodang, and of course follow Chase at the PLL Pipeline, follow Hoots at Hoot Sports Media, and of course subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, leave a 5-star review on both platforms. It goes a long way for helping the show continue to grow, helps more people find OTB and Underground Sports Philadelphia as a whole. And then, of course, subscribe to both the Underground Sports Philadelphia and Outside the Box podcast YouTube channels. We are working on the editing process of all of our Media Day video versions of the interviews that will go on the OTB channel in full form. And then we will also put the Philly adjacent ones. We're going to splash them into some clips and stuff on the main channel as well. But it's youtube.com/@OTBLaxPod, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, and of course, ring that bell icon so you know when new videos go live. And this show is presented by Shootout For Soldiers. And ladies and gentlemen, if you missed the news, Shootout For Soldiers is heading out west in October. They are heading to Vail, Colorado, in partnership with 10th Mountain Lacrosse for a day out west, which is super awesome. All the details we made a video for, all the details are also available on their social channels and on their website. But Shootout For Soldiers is returning to Colorado at the Eagle County Fairgrounds Sports Complex just west of Vail, Colorado on October 19th. In partnership with 10th Mountain Lacrosse Club, they'll be hosting men's 18 and over games from 1700 to 1900 that day. And they are also going to have, this is so cool, that they're going to have a post Shootout For Soldiers Vail 10th Mountain Lacrosse event at the distillery at 10th Mountain Whiskey in Vail on October 19th. So be sure to register so you can get your shirt and join everybody at the distillery after the game on the 19th. The games on the 19th. 10th Mountain Whiskey and Spirit Company is a distillery inspired by the storied legacy of the U.S. Army's 10th Mountain Division, a unit renowned for its alpine warfare expertise. Located in Vail, Colorado, the distillery pays homage to the division's rugged spirit and mountain roots, producing high-quality whiskey and spirits. And according to 10th Mountain Whiskey and Spirit, the company is not only is it a tribute to the 10th Mountain Soldier, but it is also a tribute to those that enjoy the mountain lifestyle, living it fully every day. The picture of this place just looks awesome. So if you're going to be in the Colorado area, register for Shootout For Soldiers 10th Mountain Lacrosse event on October 19th. And go to the after party, the post-game hangout at 10th Mountain Whiskey and Spirit at their distillery. I'm envious of everybody that's going to be able to go. This looks like it's going to be such an awesome time. Such a cool partnership with 10th Mountain Lacrosse, and to bring Shootout For Soldiers to the West Coast is super awesome. And I know it's something that Eric and Alexis have been working on post-pandemic, getting back into markets that they've been trying to hit for a while now. So to head out west to start their fall swing of events is super cool. So click the link in the description, register for the Vail, Colorado event with Shootout For Soldiers, and peruse their website for other ways to get involved with Shootout For Soldiers and bridge lacrosse community and support our veterans who keep this country safe and have done so for a long, long time. And shout out to Shootout For Soldiers for being the presenting sponsor of the Outside the Box podcast. Deej, the only lacrosse going on in the world right now is the World Box Lacrosse Championships. Both men and women taking place right now. Granted, you and I have been catching up via clips and haven't been really able to sit down and watch too many of the games just because work is crazy. Catching up on work that we have here is crazy. And the clips, I think, almost speak for themselves for how dynamic this tournament has been. There have been awesome moments, some absolutely jaw-dropping highlights. Mackie Jenner, Teddy Jenner, and the whole broadcast team are crushing it. And it's kind of set up the way that everyone thought it would be. Cue the Dennis Green press conference. They are who we thought they were. 3 of your Final 4 in both brackets. Team USA, Team Haudenosaunee, Team Canada. And in the men's, the Final 4 includes Team England. And in the women's, it's Team Australia. Squads are balling.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen good ball on Twitter as far as clips and stuff. The dude. The thing is, I don't get a break. In summer, I'm coaching and then out on PLL all week or all weekend over the summer while working. But then once that's over, I come back here and work just kills me. Like I'm working 100% of the time, so I haven't had a ton of time to watch games. I've caught the ends of games, which really sucks because a lot of these games in group play, if you catch the end of it, it's already over.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw a little bit of the USA Canada game, but like that game was just about over by the time I was able to get to it. So it's kind of been clips for me. Obviously, Hoagie doing what he did was unreal. I literally quote tweeted and went unbelievable because it's still unbelievable that it happened.
That looked like when you're playing like mini golf. And
Yeah.
you get it through not only the windmill that's going in front of the hole, but then it goes through and it gets into the hole in a hole-in-one.
Yeah, literally. And then, I mean, I saw Spalina's bomb from outside the box line. Like, hello?
He's a dog, man. I forget who it was, so I apologize for not remembering, but it is kind of crazy that, including this year, the next 3 professional lacrosse drafts could see 2 additional members, along with Brennan, to the drafted number 1 overall in the PLL and the NLL, and that's CJ Kirst and Joey Spalina.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they have great chances of doing that. Case in point, what we're seeing from Joey Spalina right now on this USA team. He's showing up and showing out.
It was Kevin Crowley, Lyle, and then Jeff Teat was the first one since Lyle, and it took 5 and 6 years respectively for it to happen. Then Brennan happens this year, which is, another 3-year gap, and now we could have 3 in a row. Is wild to think about that. Before it was just 3.
It's becoming one of those things where kids are falling in love with lacrosse and they want to play lacrosse as much as possible, and they're seeing the benefit of not only playing field but also playing box, and vice versa. There's box players that are now trying to play field because they understand there are some pieces that help them elevate to the next level on both sides. So I'm loving it. And the more American players that continue to play box and sharpen their skills, the better it is for the sport. Like, is it huge in Canada already? Yes. Is there a lot of talent in Canada? Yes. Are there tons of players coming out of Canada? Yes. But at the end of the day, for this sport to boom the way we all want it to and need it to, America has to catch on. So the more American players that are playing box and showing that benefit, it's going to mean that more kids that are growing up and want to be like them are going to start playing box. So then the sport of lacrosse just continues to grow from a standpoint like that. I love the way this is going, and I just want it to be something that's more common, because a lot of times the best player in the box draft is probably one of the best players in the field draft as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're truly the best player, like we've seen and probably will see for the next 2 years, and like we saw with Brennan, it really shouldn't be a question.
I think it's also sick, Thomas Hogarth does what he does, and then to see somebody who, for the longest time, regarded as an elite player in the sport of lacrosse, and the PLL happens, the rosters aren't as maximized as they were in the MLL. Nate Solomon can still play, man. And he is so good. He's so talented. And then he hits his best Thomas Hogarth impression, only goes 5-hole, not 10-hole. And that goal was filthy just as much. And to see Nate Solomon doing what he's doing still is super cool. And he's one of those guys that I hope, when championship series rolls around, hopefully he's one of those guys that gets a call, because I think he can still play. And I think champ series is one of those things that is like cut out for him right now. And his stick skills are still like through the roof. And it was super cool to see him like get the love and, the accolades of celebration for his goal, and seeing him do that was just like, holy shit, Nate Solomon is still that dude.
Stay ready so you don't got to get ready. That Nate Solomon is the definition of that. He's always ready to play lacrosse. He doesn't have to get ready.
It's like the Michael Scott quote, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Tommy Palasek quote, Nate Solomon.
Yeah, yes, literally. Like he man's is ready to go at all times, and he shows it, and he's been playing good ball. And I wish that their tournament would have went a little bit better, but he kind of needs help, and Israel is slowly getting back to being one of the top teams in the world. They had a time where they were in the top 10, top 5-ish area. They're trying to get back to that, and there's more talent that's coming through there. Nate Solomon's just one of many, so eventually they'll get there. But he once again had a very good tournament, and I'm sure he'll find himself on a Champ Series roster, or like the conversation that happened on Twitter earlier this week. Shout out to you, Al. Like you're one of the people who kind of understands, but there is a large group of people out there that are just trying to heavy push expansion because of talent. Mm-hmm. I understand there's a ton of talent. Some of my favorite college players over the last few years are not playing in the PLL because there's just not enough spaces. That doesn't mean that we need the league to grow by 2, 3, 4 teams so that all these guys can play. Do they all deserve a spot? Yes. Would they all perform? Yes. Would there be good games? Yes. But also that could cause the league to fizzle out very quickly because they don't have enough money per se to do that. That's the biggest thing. What about timing slots for games? That matters too. Unless you just start doing a bunch of bye weeks so you're only still playing the same amount of games, but then what's the point in having this touring model if you're only going to see half the teams in a place? There is a reason that expansion is going so slow. The main point is that they want to pay these players what they are worth.
That is priority number one from what I took away from the State of the League at the end of year awards ceremony that they had before all the awards. That was the thing that Mike and Paul were pushing heavily in the conversation, was getting the guys to be full-time lacrosse players and doing what it takes to get to that point. That feels like priority number one, alongside obvious growth of the business side of things and everything, to get to the point where expansion becomes more feasible.
Yeah, and we're not saying you can't talk about expansion. We're not saying that it shouldn't be talked about. But what we're saying is throw the caveat in there. It should be something like, I would love to see expansion in the PLL so a guy like Will Manny can play, but I understand that it's a few years away. I know we're a little bit of ways away from that. I know the league doesn't quite have the escrow to do. Whatever the case may be, you have to start throwing the caveat out there.
$10 vocab word right
so
there.
so that people understand where the league is. Because right now it kind of just looks like people are just bashing the league for not having enough teams and leaving guys out that they feel should be in. And that's not like we just don't want that attitude to be out there. That's where we're coming from and saying we want kind of the expansion talk to be slowed down some. It's just really explain your point. And Al's done a great job of this, of saying, like, I understand where the league is, but like, we just want to see more teams. You're absolutely allowed to do that, but have that understanding of knowing that the league can't fulfill your wants at the current moment because they want to be able to sustain the league for a long period of time and grow this over time. And they have a model that is working. So old cliche saying, don't fix what ain't broke.
And to bring it back to like box lacrosse too, like you want an example of that. And I know there's a little bit of a difference because there are actual team owners in the NLL. Please direct your attention to what just happened over the last month with the Panther City Lacrosse Club dispersal.
Yep.
Do you want that to happen in the PLL? I highly doubt it. Outside of the very minuscule vocal minority out there who just wants to bash the PLL or lacrosse in general for whatever reason.
Existing.
It's one of those things that if you do expand too soon, you run the risk of those teams not existing. Look at how the MLL fizzled out. Look at that final bubble season of the MLL. Watch Fate of a Sport. Look at some of the discussion there from some of the owners from teams in the MLL. The PLL has a rocket ship trajectory right now. The NLL, for the most part, has a rocket ship trajectory. Don't try to force things to occur when it's not feasible. And that's what tournaments like the World Box Lacrosse Championships are for. That's what the PLL Championship Series are for, to help further grow the game, give guys opportunity. Ronan Jacoby would not have been on the New York Atlas roster this year had it not been for the Championship Series. Romar Dennis is probably not in a Redwoods jersey, and Miles Jones is probably not in a New York Atlas jersey if it were not for the PLL Championship Series. We're not talking about the legend of Tommy Palasek last winter if the Champ Series didn't exist. It is an opportunity for these guys that's only going to continue to grow. And the more that I've talked to people, I'm sure you were talking to people too at Street Lacrosse and throughout the season, Deej, but the more we talk to people, especially the players, these guys care about that championship series. Matt DeLuca said it himself when he came on this show a couple weeks ago. It's only been 2 years of it, but it is already something that these guys want to compete for. They want to play with their boys, and it's turned into something that is meaningful. You can say all you want that, oh, it's just a tournament. It's just, it's more revenue. The players give a shit about it. The players give a shit about the World Box Lacrosse Championships. That's why you saw guys like Kluch and Ryan Smith not playing the PLL this year so they could kind of just focus on their box game. That's why you saw Dane Smith go up and play for the Chiefs this summer, alongside a multitude of other reasons. Shout out to Dane. Congrats on the wedding, brother. The pictures were sick. Also,
Yes,
sick-ass caption. 3 rings in 2 years. Who's the real champ? But it's like one of those things that, like, these things matter to these guys. No matter how minuscule they may seem to the common fan, they mean something, and it's going to mean something to whoever wins bronze, silver, and gold in this tournament. And it's going to be super cool to see who comes out on top for both the men and women. And I think my favorite moment so far from the women's tournament, Mackie Jenner quote tweeted it, so shout out to her for putting it, in front of me. Team Ireland invited Team USA, the women's side of things, to come down on the field and like participate in like their post game like anthem that they sing together. It was the coolest thing I've seen in a long time when it comes to just like a moment from lacrosse. And that's not to discredit, the championship games and the highlight reel. It was just the camaraderie that two different nations had for one another to say, hey, we just competed, in a hard-fought game for the duration of it. Now let's come together and celebrate it. It was such a cool moment. It's something that's going to stick in the back of my head is when we look back on the year of 2024 with lacrosse. And it gets me that more amped up and juiced up for what the Olympics could bring in 2028 in terms of just like that team camaraderie, that pride of your nation. It was a super cool thing to see, and just seeing how like welcoming Team Ireland was to invite Team USA to that, and to just see Team USA embrace it and like taking in the moment and just being a part of something like that was so cool. So shout out to Team Ireland on the women's side of things, because that was a super awesome moment in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that makes these tournaments fun. Lacrosse brings people together, and you see it in other sports too, but it seems to be a little bit different in lacrosse. That was definitely a cool moment. I mean, Charlotte North has been one of the coolest moments of this tournament in general. It seems like every time I turn around, she's got another clip out on socials, and she's been amazing. It's just been fun, catching the clips. I wish I could see more of these games, but the energy that the world is giving off is fantastic. Seeing tweets from people who are there, they seem to really be enjoying the energy inside the building. Shout out Jack Burns from Chinese Taipei, his game winner. Hold on, because my boy Brian is hilarious. He quoted the tweet and he said, what did he say? Hold on, because I want to get this right. I don't like quoting people and not saying it correctly. He said, I score a game-winning goal like this in Worlds, I'm rocking around with the Biggie crown and a mink coat for the rest of the tourney. And yes, I feel that energy so much. That the goal was absolutely disgusting. It was a game winner. The perfect celly afterward. You score a goal like that, the only celly you should have is, are you not entertained? And that's exactly what he did. He got up and just did it. And it was poetry. Art, what is it? Art, but it's sports, or sports, but it's art, or whatever.
Friend of the network there.
Put it to work, my guy. Sports is in fact art, and that is exactly what we saw there. Loved that clip, and the let me go to my tweets now. What we saw the other day when what's their faces was finally scored on.
Oh, Canada.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get to my page. For whatever reason, it will not allow me to go. There we go. Dutch captain Hedwig Lambrechts. Do you know how to say Dutch last names?
Let me pull it up so I can see it in front of my face. This is great podcasting for everybody at home. Take notes.
Amazing podcast.
Take notes, everyone. If you want to start a podcast, this is how you do it. This is how you play. Let's see.
I know how to say Hedwig because my boy Harry. Shout out to the Potter game.
I'm gonna guess it's Lambregs.
Lambregs. Yeah. Hedwig Lambregs finally delivered and scored the first goal against the Canada women's in the entire tournament, and just the full embodiment of the celly afterward and the entire team. It just encapsulated the entire moment of lacrosse, what it means for some of these other countries to be able to play lacrosse and have these opportunities, and then just how big of a deal it was for somebody to finally score on Canada. Like, the whole thing was fantastic. It is what makes lacrosse so great.
Yes, that shit was electric. Yeah, let us know if you've been watching Worlds. And just let us know what your favorite moment's been, what you're looking forward to from the Final Four on both sides, the men and women, who your favorite players been to watch, all that good stuff. But yeah, it's been a fun time, and I'm excited to see who comes out on top and who's on the podium and where they are standing on that podium and who's bringing home the bragging rights to their nation for this bad boy. Before we keep it pushing, I do want to talk to everybody about the PLL app and our PLL app code. I know there's not much going on in the PLL app right now because it is the league's dark week that they are getting set for, and they are out of the office this week, so there's not much, and it's a lot of easy things to achieve for your weekly goals. But the PLL app is the one-stop source for everything regarding the PLL, from articles to daily fantasy during the weekly fantasy during the season, trivia, the whole 9 yards. It is the most gamified sports league app in the game. It is a game changer across the board. Stats readily available. You can access the PLL shop in the app as well. And when you level up in the app, you unlock certain accolades that allow you to get some pretty sweet stuff, like, a trial of ESPN Plus. You get discount codes for the PLL shop, the whole 9 yards. And we have a PLL app code. Download the PLL app, go to pll.app, or go to the App Store, Google Play Store, and go to the redeem code section in the app, and then type in OTBPOD. That's OTB Pod for 500 XP on your account. That's code OTB Pod in the PLL app for 500 XP on your account. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, OTB Nation alike. DJ and I were talking last night as I was sitting down eating dinner at a lovely chain restaurant that he and I both enjoy, no free ads, that I typically attend after every Vineland High School football win, if there's one in my vicinity. I did that last night, and we were texting, and DJ, I want you to let the people know what your next binge-worthy show is in your headcanon of what you feel like you're going to sit down and lock in for.
All right, so I got to preface this. Probably about a year ago, I got sucked into Chicago Fire and grinded through all 12 seasons of Chicago Fire. Since then, I've been trying to find a new binge-worthy long-term show to watch. My first try was Law and Order SVU, and I can't lock in. I'm trying, I really am, but like I could easily just fall asleep on the show and not care that I missed like 3 episodes. It's not hitting quite enough yet. So I thought back to a show that I've seen bits and pieces of, but haven't actually been able to sit down and truly watch and like lock into. The very popular show, one that's been on for decades.
That has a big contingent of fandom amongst PLL employees.
Yes. And just the world in general.
And yours truly.
This is a worldwide television show that gets pulled everywhere.
And people don't know, probably, because I don't think I've ever brought it up on this show. It is the number 2 thing on my bucket list is to be on this show.
We have talked about this. I texted him, and I think his heart probably jumped out of his chest when he read it. I told him that I'm most likely going to be diving headfirst into Survivor as my next binge-worthy show. And I'm almost positive he had a heart attack at that very moment.
Survivor is in my top 3 favorite shows of all time. It is by far and away the best reality TV ever because it is a true social experiment from season 1 all the way to, I don't know, all the way through to now, probably. It's just changed over time and evolved. And I remember sitting down the first season of Survivor coming out. That was appointment television with our family to sit down and watch Survivor. Fun fact, my dad tried to audition for the second season of Survivor, but we were so young. My sister and I were like, you can't leave us for that long. We didn't know better. We were like 7 years old. And the second season was in Australia. So you tell a 7 and a 5-year-old that dad's going to Australia for months at a time. You can't leave us. So that is also part of why I want to be on Survivor, is so that when they do the family day, I can bring my dad out and then it's like full circle moment.
See, hey, I want everybody to listen to me real close. Parents, you might want to mute me.
What if I just muted you right now? Nobody.
Don't have no kids, man. They ruined it.
Oh, whoa!
I'm just saying, my man's Oren was on his way to Australia before y'all said no.
He wasn't. I wouldn't put it. It was an idea in his head that he was like, I could do this. He never applied.
All I'm saying is, without y'all, he applies, no question.
Without us, though, is he even watching the show? That's the domino effect.
You think your dad not watching Survivor because you weren't born?
You never know.
Bro, Survivor was going to hit regardless of you breathing or not.
That's the domino meme where it's like, this happened.
You're a ridiculous.
Giant domino.
You are ridiculous. I'm sorry, LG, that you got stuck here because you had these
ridiculous.
fools
Don't put that evil on me. But yes, Survivor is one of my favorite shows. It is a staple in this household. Like over on this shelf here, when DJ's in studio and you guys see the bookshelf over here, there is a legit Survivor Tribal Council like marker from the show on the shelf over here. There is an immunity idol coin on the shelf over here. I have the 30th season anniversary buff that I wear in the wintertime to shovel snow. That goes over my face to keep the wind off my face. Like, Survivor is that show. And like I said, it has a big fandom amongst the contingency of a lot of PLL employees, including our guy Joe Keegan, Emma Adams, Liam, and a certain somebody that goes by the name of Colin Squires, which, if you guys didn't know, Colin Squires wears the number 39 because the original Survivor was 39 days. That is why Colin Squires wears the number 39. There's no other player in the PLL that wears 39 that would even be able to pull it off anywhere close to as well as Colin does. So, DJ and I were talking, and we have created a brand because it was a segment on the main pod for, 3.5 years when Survivor came back. Because during lockdown, Matt, my brother-in-law and former co-host of Underground Sports Philadelphia, binged Survivor all the way through. Because it was one of those things, like, he'd be over and it's like, I got to be able to, like, talk Survivor when I'm at the house or whatever. So he binged every season and got caught all the way up. So, Colin Squires, being the giant Survivor fan he is, DJ and I were brainstorming. Now, this is also objectively hilarious because Colin has never been on this show yet. We are working on our scheduling process with Colin. But Colin Squires, we're pitching a podcast to you to join the network. Now, as I was thinking this morning too, Deej, be me, you, Colin, my sister, I could potentially rope in here and there, depending on her teaching schedule, obviously. And I know Casey is a huge Survivor fan as well. So Casey could get in the mix on this and have a full-blown kumbaya perspective on the show. I'm just sitting here thinking about, and you brought up, imagine having a podcast, me, you, and Colin Squires being part of it and not talking lacrosse whatsoever.
It's so funny. Like, literally, like, we would be on there and people be like, oh, okay. They're definitely just about to, like, dive into a bunch of lacrosse. And we're like, no. And now that we have you all here,
the tribe has spoken.
The tribe has spoken. And this week's episode was insane. And then just dive head in. Like, yes, bro. That would be fire.
Like, I would genuinely commit to doing a Survivor podcast if Colin Squires is in.
Sign me up. No question. I'll start watching Survivor right now.
We already have the name. We already have the fandom. It's not like we're new fan. We know, like, DJ knows bits and pieces of the game. I know the game. Colin knows the game.
Okay, so put this in perspective. I was a very avid Total Drama Island watcher. I've seen every season and every episode. And I also was a big challenge watcher on MTV. So it's very similar, but not like quite the same. So like I understand the bits and pieces of playing the game and how it all works and that jazz.
I can't wait for your brain to get broken after watching the first 40 seasons and then getting into this new era of Survivor where it is more condensed and there's just so many new like loopholes and twists and turns and everything that are just like, what are we doing here? It's like when baseball introduced the pitch clock.
Yeah.
And you're getting used to the pitch clock. Like, and there's some stuff that worked, and it's like, all right, we got to get this part out of here.
The PLL putting in the 32.
Yeah.
It worked, and then they were like, hey, we got to get this deep hole thing up out of here.
I can't wait see like which Survivor contestants you become a fan of. That's going to be the real fun kicker, and for you to see the eventual seasons where like known celebrities are on the show.
That's gonna be fun.
And some of them trying to hide that they are known like athletes or things of that nature. I will give you one. I don't know if you knew he was on the show. Jimmy Johnson was on Survivor.
I think I did know Jimmy Johnson was on. I don't think I watched it, but I think I saw like
so
a clip
funny.
or something and knew he was on there.
It's like, what is Jimmy Johnson doing in Survivor?
Hello? Jimmy?
But genuinely, like the first 10 seasons of Survivor, and after that, there's great seasons as well. But the first 10 seasons are like the perfect 10 seasons of reality TV because it is a true social experiment. And like, I hope Survivor goes on forever because it is that type of show that can go on forever. But genuinely, like if they would have just said, hey, we're doing 10 seasons and it ended at season 10, it's a perfect reality series. But then it keeps going, it gets better and better. My only gripe with Survivor now, and it's, you know, it's the world we live in. You sign contracts and everything to make things easier. I wish they still traveled around to different locations. I forget when it was, but they are just like in Fiji now, and they just switch things around and are able to kind of utilize the island more easily, and it's a lot less travel. But dude, when you watch the third season's in Africa. They are literally in the middle of the African safari. There is a person who is like designated, like there's like a watchman like shift that you are up watching to make sure no wild animals are coming towards the enclosure that you're stationed in. It was crazy. It's like they could never do that today. And that was like 2003.
I couldn't sign up for that.
That was like 2003.
I couldn't sign up for that. Oh, no wonder I wasn't in the Survivor.
The first season came out in like 2000 or 2001.
Yeah, I'm barely alive.
Right. Like, let me see what the first.
Like I still had zero responsibilities at that age. I literally had no responsibilities.
You could barely speak.
Oh no! I was a very avid speaker.
I'm saying the first season.
What in 2000?
The first season was May 31st, 2000.
Yeah, I was already speaking full sentences.
Before you were one?
Yeah. Yeah, I was cooking, bro.
This man was like Gary in the SpongeBob Dream episode. In the beginning.
Like I literally was always like already telling my mom, like, I want mac and cheese for dinner tonight. Like
these were the first 10 season locations. It was Borneo, which is in like Malaysia, the Australian outback, Africa. It was in the Shaba National Reserve in Kenya, Marquesas, which is in French Polynesia, Thailand. They were in the Amazon in Brazil, Pearl Islands, and the first All-Star season were both in Pearl Islands, Panama. Then they were in Vanuatu, and then Palau. And then it was Guatemala, Panama, the Cook Islands, Fiji for the first time. Then they went to China. Then they went to Micronesia in Palau, Gabon, the Tocantins in Brazil. They went back-to-back seasons in Samoa. Then they went back-to-back seasons in Nicaragua. They went back to Samoa for 2 seasons. Then they went to the Philippines for 4 straight seasons, but it was like 2 in one part of the Philippines and then 2 in the next part. Then they went back to Nicaragua. Then they went to Cambodia for 2 seasons. And then season 33 to now is when Fiji full-blown was the location. But like them first, like if you see it, they were like jumping around, and it was like watching it, it was like super cool to just see like the landscape of where they were. And it was like, holy shit, this is like they're in the fucking thick of the wild.
It's gonna take me forever to catch up.
I mean, it didn't take Matt that long. Like, honestly, like he did
But
it. Like
he did it when?
right, but like even so, like he was still working then.
I mean, yeah, but like working from home.
No,
He was working. 'Cause
yeah,
I was working during COVID too. It was
my boy works at Wawa.
Oh, essential, my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at Dollar Tree grinding during COVID, straight essential. I'm like, this is stupid, bro.
Like how
But
many?
it's gonna take. Well, no, because once winter rolls around, like I don't be leaving the crib, so I got a lot of time.
Trying to see how many episodes the first season of
But
Survivor.
sports cut into watching this stuff so much. That's all.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things that you got to like weekday watch almost.
Yeah, but there's so much stuff.
Season 1 was only 14 episodes.
Okay, that's not bad. I feel like the early seasons might be a little easier to get through, but like then like once I get to probably like season about 12 to 15-ish, it starts getting a little bit longer, and that's when it's.
And now it's like there's still like the same amount of episodes almost, but it's more condensed in terms of like people getting vote. Like now it's 24 days instead of 39, but the way they break it up, it still maintains the same amount of like episode listing and everything. I'm like jumping around to see like what the different seasons are. Yeah, they range anywhere from like 14 to like 16 episodes from what I'm seeing. So it's not like terrible. It's just they're like anywhere from like the nice part for you is there's not gonna be commercials that you have to like watch. Like when we watch it in real time, like there's commercials you have to sit through. You can kind of jump through anything if there is anything, and it's going to be a little more condensed on the watch time.
I think it depends on what I watch on. I believe Paramount Plus has no.
Paramount Plus has the whole catalog too.
Yeah, I think that's what sparked it. I was watching Silent Library last night. Paramount Plus, isn't it? And then I like saw Survivor, and I was like, "Am I going to do that
have the whole
right now?"
catalog, which then there's like no commercials, so that kind of cuts it down to like 40 minutes almost for each episode, 45 minutes.
Yeah,
which makes
it a little bit easier. But it's still like that's an hour, so like I'm gonna need multiple hours in a day, and just how many times am I gonna have multiple hours in a day to bang out episodes? That's
right.
That's all it is. It'll take a little bit of time, but I don't think it'll take like that long.
Yeah, like I think Matt finished in a few months, which like for a show that's at the time had 40 seasons,
yeah,
is not bad. But yeah,
we putting in work,
right? We are pitching Buffs and Snuffs, the official Survivor brand of Underground Sports Philadelphia, to Colin Squires as a host, and it is your position if you choose to accept it, my friend.
We would love for you to accept it,
because if you accept it, DJ starts right now.
No, literally right now. I probably already started, honestly, by the time you respond.
So yeah, let us know if you want Survivor coverage with myself, DJ, Casey from F1 Underground, and Colin Squires, and bits and pieces of my sister here and there, depending on what we do. And then I guess we'd have to figure out like if we're gonna do starting with a certain season, like the current season, or if we do full blown like here's a recap of season 1 and like not do episode by episode of those first 40 amount of seasons, but like just kind of like a 1 hour recap or however long it takes to do the recap of that season and favorite parts and stuff like that, to then eventually get into week by week episodes. And I told DJ as if we need more on our plate, but this would be so worth it.
More than worth it. More than worth it. I can find time for this for sure.
This would be so fun.
It better happen.
Colin,
we're talking to you.
Are you ready? Survivor's ready? Go. But yeah, that is an idea we have floated around, and it's now made official to the public. Colin Squires, we are pitching you to be a co-host on a podcast on our podcast network. And we know Colin's a huge supporter and fan of all of our shows. So what better way than to say, hey, Colin, come do a show with us.
Please.
Great idea by us. Great idea by us. Deej, do you want to talk to the people about our incoming content project on this show?
All right, y'all. I finally had a good idea. It took forever, but we're sitting here talking today, and I was trying to figure out, how we're gonna put the show together. And he's like, "Oh, do you want to, talk about like the NLL?" And I'm like, "Dude, I think it's a little early to be diving deep into the NLL. Let's maybe like just do a Squires sixes to lead into pitching the pod to Squires." And he's like, "Sixes of what though?" And then that's when we hit the wall a little bit. And then he brought up, what about like lacrosse, like TV animals that you
We
would
were
make
talking about
into
Mudang.
lacrosse? We were talking about Mudang, and he goes like Franklin the turtle, and I was like, okay. And first off,
Which, if you know Franklin the turtle, drop that in the YouTube comments.
please, because that's a throwback that even I'm old enough for.
Show is a banger. Those books, bangers. Also
Facts.
hilarious that Franklin was the only one with a human name.
So then I made a total fool of myself by calling Arthur an anteater when he is obviously
Shout
an
out
aardvark.
real easy.
He is obviously an aardvark. And then I brought up Mordecai the blue jay and Rigby the raccoon, and that turned into us throwing out a bunch of Cartoon Network people, which turned into us making full game day rosters out of TV channels. So this week it's Cartoon Network for sure, and we'll be back with others in the next coming weeks.
Nickelodeon, Disney Channel.
Y'all can thank my wonderful brain for putting this together.
We're gonna do anime, so like the Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon type of stuff. And if there's any other like networks or like quote unquote, we could do Marvel, DC, that type of stuff as well. But we're gonna start with Cartoon Network, and I'm excited for this. So we're gonna do. We have a spreadsheet up. We're also going to attempt to post graphics to showcase each positional group with these on our social media platforms. So we're going to have game day rosters as like by PLL standards. So it's going to be 19 plus 2, and we're going to include a coach. So 3 attackmen, 5 middies, 3 defensemen, 2 LSMs. We're going 3 short sticks, a face-off athlete, 2 goalies, and a coach. So, Deej, what positional group do you want to start with to start creating the Cartoon Network roster of fictional lacrosse rosters?
Probably midi. 1, they have the most, and 2, it's kind of the easiest ones to look at because we're going with the all arounds is easy because then after that you can kind of pinpoint the exacts. So yeah, I like starting with midfield.
All right, so this is going to be Cartoon Network, which encapsulates anything you've watched on Cartoon Network, which I will say, we were talking before, it's not really going to include, if you're old enough to remember, like the Kids WB era of Saturday morning cartoons. That's going to be its own separate entity. But I do think we can include like Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry and like those portions of like Warner Brothers and everything. Those will be in this category for sure.
Well, I'll open up with Ben 10.
Ooh. Okay.
We were talking about someone pre-pod, which I won't throw out yet because I'm sure they're going to make the list. And you were talking about that was for a different channel. But you were talking about having the best of multiple things. And that made me think of Ben 10. He can turn into absolutely anything, which means whatever we need at that moment.
I like that.
He can do offense, defense, middle of the field work, all that. So midfield it is.
I like that a lot. I am going to say, let's see. We're gonna have somebody running out of the box here. We need some speed. We need some wheels on that boy. Scooby Doo is gonna be in this midfield.
Okay. I like that.
And yes, everyone, Scooby Doo is Cartoon Network. It's Warner Brothers. Scooby Doo is included. The entire Mystery Inc. gang is included. I also think a sick midfielder for this group, Deej, number 5 from the Kids Next Door. She is a beast.
Yes.
She's a midi and a half.
And all right, so this my next midi is every team has a goofy midi, right? Like Knack, hilarious guy, just goofy, right? Who was I just thinking of? Mikey Schlosser, just a great guy, but goofy, right? Jake the Spider Monkey for my gym partner.
Ooh, good.
I like him at mid as our goofy, just funny mid guy.
My gym partner. That was a sneaky, underrated show for a long time.
Very long time.
The gorilla Irwin.
He's so funny.
Dude, his lisp killed my dad. Well, you see, guys, I am Irwin, and I have expertise in being a gym class hero. Another midi. Who do I want to put in this midfield as our last midfielder? I think, your midfield also needs somebody who's kind of a dickhead.
Okay.
I'm taking the front man with the sunglasses from the Gangrene Gang from the Powerpuff Girls. Old dude with the pointy chin and the vest.
Oh, wait, hold on. Because what is that?
I mean, they could be a midfield unit all on their own. They got everything. But I'm taking the leader of the Gangrene Gang.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious.
Tell me he doesn't look like a dickheaded midfielder.
Bro, that is so funny, bro. That is so funny.
So there's our midfield. It's Ben 10, Scooby Doo, number 5 from the Kids Next Door, Jake from My Gym Partner's a Monkey, and the Gangrene Gang leader, which I will see if he has an actual name, from the Powerpuff Girls. His name is Ace. He's a midfielder and a half.
Yes.
Their names are so funny. Ace, Snake, Big Billy, Grubber, and Lil Arturo.
Lil Arturo! That's so funny. Arturo! Oh, so what we jump into next?
I think, we kind of sifted out our defense a little bit early on before we started recording a little bit. And I know you're throwing your boy in there, so I'll let you introduce the defense here.
Oh, wait, who did I say? Man, that was a while ago. Oh, I put Skips first from regular show. I mean, he's got the size, obviously, to play D. He's fast on his feet, even though he skips everywhere. And he's a great communicator. He reminds me a lot of Eddie Glazner in terms of how he held together that regular show crew whenever they were on some wild escapade. So I like him to anchor down the D.
And then, do we have Mordecai in the defense as well, or is he?
I'm down with Mordecai coming on D. I like him there. He's long, lanky, and is going to be a great cover guy.
He's got a lot of Jack Rowlett in him.
A lot of Jack. Cause like when he gets angry, he there, bro. So yeah, those two I definitely liked starting down there. And then you had a third that you wanted to put down there.
It's Grim from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yes.
I was
Absolutely.
like, yep, Grim has to be on this defense.
And so I guess we can jump right into LSMs because I think those go hand in hand. First LSM is total Michael Earhart of Cartoon Network in terms of like how I see the play coming out. Will from Gumball.
Yeah, actually,
he's tall, he's lanky, he's fast, but he also has the mindset skills up here from playing basketball. I love him at LSM.
Yeah, Wilt from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Now, I was just thinking too, because we did say somebody else, and I don't know if we want to put him at defense to replicate this person, or do we want him as an LSM and we move Grim to LSM either way? Because I think Grim is versatile that way.
I like Grim. I like Grim at LSM.
Okay. So our other
a
defenseman is Cyborg from Teen Titans.
And we literally said we put him in front of a TV and play Graham Hossack highlights and tell him you play like him.
Yes.
And then it just works out perfectly. God, that this team's coming together, man.
Team is nasty.
And we're only halfway through.
And we're only a Cartoon Network.
It's facts.
All right, so we still have attack, short sticks, face-off goalie, and a coach.
Where do you want to go next? Attack?
I'm kind of leaning going short stick, fill out the rest of the defense and
let's do it.
Build from the back almost.
Yeah.
You did say Rigby was one of your short sticks, so
yes. I did say when we first brought this up, I was like, Rigby the Raccoon. I was like, he's doing one of two things for me. He's either taking face-offs or he's my nasty, gritty D-mid. Because, like, I know Mordecai gets angry, but if you've seen regular show, you know what Rigby's like when he gets angry or he gets upset and he starts doing the
run that back for me one more time. I know who another one of our 3 short sticks is going to be. Similar vein, it's Buttercup from the Powerpuff Girls.
Yes.
She is the mean one. She'll kick your ass, and she's tough as nails. I'm going Buttercup.
And I'm going to choose Eddie from Ed, and Eddie because you kind of need a short stick D mid that doesn't have much up top. Like, they're just out there to play ball. They know their job, and that's about it.
So wait, are you going Eddie or are you going single D Ed? Because single D Ed is the one that doesn't really have a lot going up on the top.
I mean, none of them are smart. First off,
true. Eddie's more the con man. Ed is the one with the clips. Ed's the highlight.
Let's go Ed with single D.
You dropped you bet your sweet bippy I did, and then he gets hit with a bowling ball in the mouth.
Let's go Ed single D.
Let's see who else. Oh, I know who our face-off guy has to be.
Listening.
No. I'm gonna hold.
Okay, let's go goalie.
I know who our backup goalie's got to be.
Okay,
Fuzzy Lumpkins from the Powerpuff Girls. The pink guy.
Okay.
And then we did have a funny goalie, but he's not going to fill up much of the goal.
Plank.
Now, does Plank include Johnny? Because Johnny's always holding Plank.
Facts. Okay, question. Do we take Johnny and then Plank is his stick?
That
could work. I'm trying to I don't want to lock into that because I feel like there's possibly.
Or is Johnny our face-off guy? And slapping that ball around with the stripe with Plank.
I'm trying to think if there's another goalie.
I mean, there's Eduardo from Foster's.
True. We could go with any of the bears from We Bear Bears.
It's also true.
Didn't Homie and Adventure Time have like a real big friend too? Like a woolly mammoth or something?
Maybe.
I didn't watch too much Adventure Time. That one was a little sketch for me.
I'm looking through characters right now just to.
Oh, let me get hold on. Let me get Muriel. Muriel ain't going for none of that.
She's clueless too. So she's just gonna be out there. Oh, hello.
None at all.
For anyone that doesn't know, that is Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah. I kind of want to find like a goalie to like lock in on though.
I mean, I feel like we are going very Powerpuff Girl heavy from my camp, but Mojo Jojo is also because that boy can fly.
Mojo Jojo seems like a great assistant coach for some reason. like he feels like he's somebody who you gotta like be like, here, run my defense. So like he feels like he's in control, but like you still make all the decisions. Because like I don't know why goalie isn't coming to mind at all.
I'm trying to think of. Oh, we could pull from the Looney Tunes universe of Cartoon Network. My boy Gossamer, big red dude.
I like that. I wouldn't mind Johnny Bravo going in that either.
I was thinking him, but then I was like, he's also very like narcissistic, so it's like he feels more like an attackman than a goalie.
We do need a big boy attackman. Hey, I can't wait to see what the people throw out.
Hear me out, because that boy got powers and everything. Steven Universe.
Okay.
At goalie.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm interested to see.
He built different. Goalies got to be built different.
They do. I'm interested to see what people have to say in comparison to our list. This is gonna be good.
Let's see. Let's go with our attack.
My first is Johnny Test.
I like that.
Put him at X. Let him create, but he's also fast.
I have one.
Little Mikey Sowers back there.
I have one for our like wing attack. Samurai Jack.
Okay. Yeah. And so then our big boy Zed William, Matt Rambo type is Johnny Bravo.
I'm also rethinking one of our midfielders.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell me Bugs Bunny's not a midfielder.
I also was going to put Bugs on the coaching staff for real. You saw him in Space Jam. He wasn't trying to do nothing but hand out water and touch on the clipboard.
That boy be digging through them holes all the time. Is he a face-off guy? Just takes the ball under the ground with him.
Hey, I could be.
Hey,
bro. How did we not put the Taz at short stick D mid?
Oh yeah, that's got to happen.
We got to bump one of our short stick D mids to the reserve roster.
I think Ed's got to go to the reserve roster. He's forgetting the playbook.
Yeah. Ed on the reserve roster. Taz definitely gets that spot.
Yeah, so we have so Johnny Test, Samurai Jack, Johnny Bravo at attack. Jack and the Johnnies.
All right. Who's our fourth attackman that ends up on the reserve roster?
Because
I would imagine that's where we're picking up the extra piece.
I was thinking,
is it number one?
I was thinking number one on the coaching staff as well.
Okay,
since he's kind of the leader.
Well, do we want to go coach?
I was thinking number 4.
Okay,
that boy with the hoodie.
Yeah,
on his hoodie grind. Yeah, and he's got that lacrosse haircut, that bowl cut.
Yeah, all right, let's go number 4.
Coaching staff. How many assistants we gonna pop on this staff? Because I got a couple guys in mind.
So are we going? Oh wait, okay. So I'm thinking, just like PLL. So
head coach, and 2 assistants,
and then an equipment guy.
Okay.
All
right. So hear me out on this one. Is he on the staff or is he the equipment guy because of what he has in his bag? Dexter.
Bro, get out my head. Get out my head. I was about to put Dexter at the equipment guy for that very reason. Get out my head. That is insanity.
All right, so Dexter's the equipment guy. I was thinking Professor Utonium could be on the staff, the professor from the Powerpuff Girls. I was also thinking, where did he go? Oh, we said number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Nigel Uno.
I just think we should add a referee crew.
I have our broadcast team as the TV Puppet Pals.
Okay, yes.
From the Justice Friends segment.
That is perfect.
Who else is going to be on this staff?
Do we put Eddie at head because of his conniving ways? Got to remember, he's got to be a GM too.
Right. So you also don't want to have a dickhead GM that's like...
We could put Robin on the coaching staff too.
That's a good call. Robin will run the shit out of that box.
Facts. O coordinator and box runner is Robin.
Let's see.
And then we put number 1 as the D coordinator.
Yeah.
So now we need a head coach.
Trying to think of like like you said, like good leader, but you don't want them to be too much of a dickhead either and screwing over your players. This is so funny because we're talking about cartoon characters.
I know. It's so funny. I kind of like Eddie though, because I don't think anybody's going to be able to outwit him. Even if we were to compare the other brand teams, he's going to be the best GM. And like honestly, we've seen that like if you got good assistant coaches, you ain't really got a coach as a head coach.
You know who also might be a good head coach and GM because she be running the joint? Frankie from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. She be keeping that whole house in check.
Are we going with Frankie?
I kind of like that.
I'm here for that. Our head referee, our Maddie Palem of the Cartoon Network universe.
It's Daffy Duck.
Is that because you want? Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Daffy Duck. And then when he can't make it because he on his bye week, the second in charge is Benson.
Okay.
I need a few Benson meltdowns when players are yelling at him.
You know who else?
I need him to just turn red and go, no, that's enough, Matt.
If we go 3 refs so that there's kind of some symmetry there, you know who else? Blue from Foster's.
Yes.
That boy be spazzing out all the time.
And then, what's homie's name? Hold on, because I do want to get his name right. Eustace. Eustace has to be.
Eustace from
Eustace has to be the Seth Tierney. Just sitting there watching the board.
Stupid dog.
We just put together a banger.
And we said Bugs at face off, right? That boy be digging. So there it is. The Cartoon Network Fictional Lacrosse roster. Your attack group on game day: Johnny Test, Samurai Jack, Johnny Bravo. Number 4 is your reserve attackman. Your midfield is Ben 10, Scooby-Doo, number 5 from Kids Next Door, Jake from My Gym Partner's a Monkey, and Ace from the Gangrene Gang. Your defense is Skips, Mordecai, and Cyborg. Your LSMs are Wilt from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and Grim from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Your short stick unit is Rigby, Buttercup, and Taz, and Ed from Ed, and Eddie. Single D Ed is your reserve short stick. Bugs is your face-off guy. Steven Universe is your starting goalie. Fuzzy Lumpkins is your backup goalie. Your coaches: Frankie from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Robin from Teen Titans, number 1, and Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. Your refs are Daffy, Benson, and Blue, and your rules official is Eustace from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Hilarious.
What a squad. That is a squad and a half. Yeah, let us know your Cartoon Network game day lineups, who we may have missed, who we should include, and we will definitely we have this in a Google sheet as well. So if changes need to be made, they can be made eventually. But we'll have a database of this, and then we'll put a poll out on Twitter and Instagram so that both followings can get involved of what fictional universe we do next week.
I'm excited. These are going to be so much fun, man.
This is hilarious.
Y'all are welcome.
That is all we got for you guys on this episode. Let us know your fictional lacrosse roster for Cartoon Network. Let us know if you want Colin Squires to accept his invitation to do a Survivor podcast with DJ, myself, and Casey. And the funny part is Casey has no idea about this
at all.
And of course, let us know what you've been enjoying about the World Box Lacrosse Championships. leave a like on the video. It really helps the show when you leave a like, when you comment. Click the bell icon so you know when new videos go live, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on the socials at OTB LaxPod across the board: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, YouTube. And you can follow Deej on Twitter at SCS_NextGreat. Follow Chase at the PLL Pipeline. Follow Hoots at Hoot Sports Media. And follow me at KBICCL311. Subscribe to the pod on audio. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to watch the show. And of course, guys, be sure to click the link in the description if you're in the area. October 19th, register for Shootout for Soldiers event in Vail, Colorado, in collaboration with 10th Mountain Lacrosse. All the details are linked in the description. They're in our bio on social media. They're in Shootout for Soldiers bio on social media. Be sure to register October 19th. It'll be here before you know it. It's like 3.5 weeks away. Register for Vail, Colorado Shootout for Soldiers event, October 19th. And be sure to keep following along with us. We got a fun one planned for you next week with more fictional lacrosse rosters. The NLL season will be upon us before we know it, but we're going to have some fun along the way. Hopefully have a couple guests coming up in the near future. And this has been episode number 342 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, and of course, viewable on YouTube, Outside the Box podcast, the official lacrosse podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. For Deej, I'm KB. Have a safe and happy weekend, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.